In a land carved by millennia of geological upheaval and drenched in the lifeblood of monsoon rains, a single, urgent question hangs in the humid air. How does life not just hold on, but find a way to flourish here? This is a world of staggering, almost overwhelming abundance, a vibrant, living tapestry woven with the threads of over 11,000 marine species, more than 15,900 types of plants, and thousands upon thousands of animal species. This density of life creates a world of intense, unceasing competition, a silent, daily battle for resources, for space, and for a chance to pass on one's legacy. What are the hushed, ingenious secrets of the animals that call this wild paradise home? From the operatic symphony of canopy primates that greets each and every sunrise to the silent, phantom-like giants of the highland forests, we are embarking on an epic expedition across the length and breadth of Vietnam. We will journey from the cold, cloud-drenched peaks of the north, where mist-shrouded mountains scrape the sky, down to the sun-scorched, life-giving deltas of the south, where great rivers surrender themselves to the sea. We will uncover the profound and ingenious strategies, born from desperation and honed by generations, that allow life here not merely to exist, but to thrive against all odds. Join us as we venture deep into the secrets of survival in the tropical rainforests of wild Vietnam. This land of staggering beauty is also a landscape of primal, unforgiving challenges. It is a nation of extremes, a treasure chest of nature's ingenuity. But with so much life packed so densely into one place, the fight to survive is a relentless, daily war waged play out. It begins not with the fury of tooth and claw, but with the very architecture of the nation itself. The unique geography of this land, its dramatic mountains and serpentine coast, stretching over 3,200 kilometers, dictates the rules of engagement for every living thing. Stay with us through this entire journey, because the most important secret of survival is one we will only reveal at the very end. But first, I have a question for the true adventurers among you. Have you ever felt the thick, warm humidity of the Vietnamese jungle on your skin? Or is this remarkable destination still on your bucket list? Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. I read them all, without exception. The story of survival in Vietnam begins with the very shape of the land. Its iconic, elongated S-shape, stretching over 1,650 kilometers from north to south, is the grand architect of its extraordinary biodiversity. From the sprawling, silt-rich Red River Delta in the north to the fertile, silken plains of the mighty Mekong in the south, the country is a living tapestry of deeply interconnected ecosystems. The Red River Delta, a UNESCO biosphere reserve, is a critical stopover for nearly 60 species of migratory birds on the East Asian-Australasian flyway. But it is in the lowland rainforests where the raw, unfiltered drama of survival is most intensely felt. These forests are the nation's beating heart, drenched by powerful southwest monsoon rains that can unleash over 2,500 millimeters of water each year, keeping the canopies in a state of perpetual emerald green vibrancy. Here, life is built in distinct layers, a vertical world stretching from the dark, damp soil to the sunlit heights. The canopy, a living cathedral ceiling reaching 35 to 45 meters toward the sky, is a universe unto itself. This is a tangled dominion of towering dipterocarps, like the mighty hopea trees, whose interlocking crowns form a dense, leafy roof that captures the vast majority of the sunlight. It is a high-rise metropolis for countless species, a world of constant movement and sound. Gibbons, the undisputed masters of this aerial kingdom, move with a grace that defies gravity. Their impossibly long arms and specialized wrists propel them through the branches in a breathtaking display of brachiation, their powerful, haunting calls stitching together the morning air. Langurs, more measured and deliberate in their passage, feast on a banquet of leaves, their bodies exquisitely adapted with complex stomachs to break down the toxins hidden within their verdant meal. Far below, the understory is a realm of deep shadows and soft whispers, where visibility is measured in meters and danger is a constant, unseen presence. Here, camouflage is not simply a tactic, but a fundamental way of being. The very soil is alive, a complex churning web of decomposers, fungi, insects, and bacteria, where every decaying leaf, every fallen branch is a promise, fueling the forest's endless, sacred cycle of death and rebirth. And where this land of green embraces the sea, another world begins. Mangrove forests, standing like tireless, stilt-walking guardians, line the coast. Their tangled, submerged roots form an impenetrable barrier, buffering the shoreline from the fury of tropical storms and creating calm, protected nurseries for the young of hundreds of marine species. These coastal wetlands, with their unique mix of mangrove plant species, are vital ecosystems, trapping sediment and building land over time. They provide a rich habitat for over 500 species of aquatic animals and plants. This potent intersection of land and water confirms Vietnam as a true global biodiversity hotspot, a place where the art of survival is mastered by navigating the immense and unique challenges of two different worlds at once. But the coast is only one half of the story. To understand the true engine of Vietnam's biodiversity, we must travel inland and upward to the great mountainous spine that has defined this nation for millennia. Stretching over 1,100 kilometers down the country like a great geological spine, the Hoang Lien Son mountain range, also known as the Annamites, is the ecological soul of Vietnam. This ancient chain of mountains forges a natural border with Laos, a colossal force of nature that literally sculpts climates and fuels the engine of evolution. It is recognized by scientists as one of the world's most critical ecoregions, a staggering mosaic of limestone peaks, high plateaus, and deep, isolated valleys that create a patchwork of distinct microclimates. The range's most profound impact is delivered by the seasonal monsoons. As moisture-heavy winds surge from the sea between June and November, the mountains act as a colossal barrier, thrusting the air violently upward. This process, known as orographic lift, cools the air and forces the clouds to shed their immense weight as torrential rain upon the eastern slopes. This creates a world of lush, wet, evergreen forest, a realm of perpetual dampness, where the air is thick with the sweet, earthy smell of moss and decay, and vibrant ferns and orchids cling tenaciously to every available surface. Here, survival means adapting to a world that is always weeping water, a world of slick surfaces and constant humidity. On the western slopes, a completely different story unfolds. Lying in a rain shadow, these lands receive far less moisture, giving rise to drier, deciduous forests where trees shed their leaves to conserve precious water during the long dry season. In this world, the challenge is not an abundance of water, but its agonizing absence. The strategies for survival must shift entirely. To endure punishing drought, to possess an intimate knowledge of the land, to find hidden water sources, or to lie dormant, waiting patiently for the rains to grant a reprieve. This dramatic east-west divide has made the Hoang Son an astonishing engine of speciation. The profound isolation created by steep ridges and deep valleys, combined with these extreme differences in climate, has triggered an explosion of life. A species of langur may thrive in one wet, misty valley, while a close relative, separated for millennia by a single high ridge, is perfectly adapted to the parched conditions just a few kilometers away. The Kon Plateau, with its steep, cloud-forested mountains, is a treasure chest of unique life, a place where new species are still being discovered. So too are the northern limestone forests, which shelter Cuc Puong, Vietnam's first national park, a sanctuary for species only recently revealed to science, with countless more, no doubt, still waiting in the shadows to be found. This incredible geological force sets the stage for a grand drama of survival played out across a patchwork of extreme and unforgiving conditions. The landscape itself, in all its dramatic diversity, forces life to extremes. But how do individual animals rise to that challenge? Next, we journey into the living, breathing layers of the jungle, from the soaring canopy to the perilous shadows below. The adaptations here are among the most astonishing on Earth. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this journey into wild Vietnam, make sure you're subscribed to see where our expedition takes us next. Our journey into these layers begins at the very top, in a world of brilliant light and vibrant sound, where social bonds are the ultimate key. In the sun-drenched world of the canopy, a complex society of specialists has conquered life in the sky. This is a realm defined by sound and motion, where survival is balanced on the knife edge of agility, communication, and the undeniable strength of social bonds. Among its most magnificent and vocal residents are the gibbons and the hornbills. As dawn's first light splits the darkness, the forest awakens to a breathtaking acoustic tapestry. That sound is the morning duet of the golden-cheeked gibbon. These primates are devoutly monogamous, forging pair bonds that can last a lifetime, and their powerful cascading calls are a sonic fence, a beautiful and complex declaration of territory that reaffirms their deep social connection. The male initiates with a series of resonant hoots, and his female partner, with her own distinct and rising harmony, weaves her voice through his, creating an intricate, coordinated song that can travel for over a kilometer. They move through their world with an elegance that seems impossible, using a method of locomotion called brachiation, swinging from branch to branch with astonishing speed and grace. Their bodies, with long arms, hooked hands, and unique ball and socket wrist joints, are a perfect expression of a life spent almost entirely airborne. Sharing this high-altitude home are the majestic hornbills, the master, builders and dedicated parents of the canopy. The great hornbill is a stunning sight, its enormous yellow and black casque, a regal crown upon its head. These birds are the farmers of the jungle, vital dispersers of seeds from the myriad fruits they consume, especially fat-rich and sugar-rich figs, ensuring the regeneration of the very forest that sustains them. But it is their nesting behavior that is truly awe-inspiring. After courtship duets, the female finds a suitable tree hollow and seals herself inside, using a plaster made of mud, feces, and food regurgitated by her mate. She becomes a willing prisoner in her own nursery, molting her flight feathers and becoming completely dependent on him. For the next 6 to 8 weeks, he faithfully, tirelessly feeds her and their chicks through a tiny slit. A single male might deliver 150 figs in one visit, a testament to his devotion. It is a profound act that gives their young the ultimate chance of survival in a world teeming with predators. Some males become so exhausted from the effort that they perish. For both gibbons and hornbills, the canopy is more than a habitat, it is a fortress. By mastering life in the highest tiers of the forest, they largely escape the dangers of the world below, their voices and behaviors an echo of the timeless, sacred rhythms of survival. But life in the sunlit canopy is a world away from the one below. As we descend, the rules of survival change completely, and the game becomes one of stealth, silence, and sudden death. Descend from the canopy, and you plunge into a different world entirely. The understory is a realm of profound shadow and hidden menace, a place where a lethal game of hide-and-seek is played for the highest stakes imaginable. This is the domain of the predator. The Indo-Chinese tiger is now functionally extinct in Vietnam, a ghost haunting the ecosystem it once commanded. But the spirit of the hunter endures. Nocturnal civets, sleek and silent, move like whispers in the dark, their keen senses of smell and hearing guiding them to small prey and fallen fruit. Elusive wildcats dissolve into the shadows, their spotted and striped coats making them nearly invisible against the forest floor. The forest is also home to a chilling array of reptiles and amphibians. Venomous snakes like the Malayan pit viper lie in silent ambush, their intricate patterns melting perfectly into the leaf litter, relying on a single lightning-fast strike to secure a meal and survive. For these hunters, patience is the deadliest weapon of all. But the understory is also a stage for the most ingenious artists of escape. In a forest where the ground is fraught with peril, some creatures have evolved a breathtaking way to travel: gliding. The colugo, often mistakenly called a flying lemur, is an undisputed master of this silent art. It isn't true flight. It is a controlled, gravity-defying fall. Launching from a high perch, it spreads a vast, furred membrane of skin called a patagium, which stretches from its neck to its fingers, to its toes, and to the very tip of its tail. This turns its body into a living kite, allowing it to sail for astonishing distances. Some have been recorded traveling up to 150 meters in a single glide, effortlessly navigating the void between trees with minimal loss of altitude. It is a remarkable energy-saving shortcut, turning the forest's very architecture into an aerial highway and a perfect escape route from arboreal predators. This remarkable adaptation, however, is utterly dependent on the forest's wholeness. As forests become fractured by roads and clearings, the gaps between trees grow too wide to cross. This seemingly small change can strand these incredible gliders, confining them to isolated patches of forest. The survival of these living shadows is inextricably bound to the health of the entire forest, a silent testament to the crushing fragility of this hidden world. These remarkable adaptations show how life has conquered every level of the forest, but even the most ingenious strategies are now being tested as the modern world closes in. From the singers of the canopy to the gliders in the shadows, every level of the forest has its masters, each with a unique secret to survival. But some of Vietnam's most iconic animals face challenges so great they have been pushed to the very edge of existence. Coming up, we meet the last giants of the dry forests and a queen of primates living in the shadow of a bustling city. Let us know in the comments which Vietnamese animal you find the most fascinating and why. We begin in a world starkly different from the wet jungles, a place of punishing drought, where survival depends not on strength, but on memory and ancient wisdom. Journey west, away from the perpetually dripping evergreen forests of the coast, and the landscape transforms. Here, lying in the rain shadow of the Truong Son Mountains, are the stark, beautiful dry forests of the Central Highlands. This is the stage for Doc Lan National Park, Vietnam's largest protected area and a critical sanctuary for what may be the country's last viable wild population of a true titan, the Asian elephant. Unlike their rainforest relatives, the elephants of Doc Lan have mastered a world of harsh seasonal change. Their very survival is tethered to one of their most profound and defining traits: a powerful intelligence and a deep, multi-generational social memory. Herds are led by a matriarch, an old and wise female whose mind is a living map of the land. She holds the memory, passed down through generations of female kin, of hidden water holes during the crushing dry season and the ancient migration routes that lead to the richest feeding grounds. Her accumulated wisdom, earned over decades of experience, is the key that unlocks survival in this demanding, ever-changing landscape. These are deeply sentient beings with complex social lives, communicating through a rich lexicon of rumbles and trumpets, some at a frequency so low it vibrates through the very ground, imperceptible to human ears. They form profound family bonds, with females remaining in their birth group for life, collectively protecting their young with fierce, communal devotion. They appear to mourn their dead. In the lore of the local Ede and Manong ethnic communities who have coexisted with them for centuries, they are not merely wildlife, they are sacred spiritual beings woven into the cultural soul of this place. Today, these magnificent giants walk a path of immense peril. The wild elephant population in Vietnam has plummeted from approximately 2,000 in 1980 to perhaps as few as 100 individuals today, scattered in fragmented groups. The Doc Lan population is one of their last strongholds. Their vast forest territories have been shattered into isolated fragments by encroaching agriculture. As their world shrinks, their ancient migration routes are severed, and conflict with humans tragically rises as they are drawn to crops like corn and rice. Doc Lan National Park represents one of their last best hopes for a future. Conservation work is focused on protecting the integrity of the forest and mitigating human-elephant conflict. But the fate of these intelligent, emotional giants now depends not only on their own ancient wisdom, but on our willingness to honor and protect their final strongholds. While the elephants of Doc Lan battle for survival in their shrinking remote wilderness, another iconic species faces a radically different and perhaps even more complex challenge: how to survive when the wild world collides directly with our own. On the central coast of Vietnam, a peninsula of green juts into the sea like a thumb of pure, uncut emerald. This is the Son Tra Peninsula, a miraculous place where a vibrant ancient rainforest thrives in the immediate shadow of the sprawling modern city of Da Nang. It is a breathtaking collision point, a precarious, high-stakes interface where the wild world and the human world meet face to face. This is the kingdom of the Red-shanked Douc Langur. Often called the Queen of Primates, the Douc is a living masterpiece, a creature seemingly painted by a divine hand. Its appearance is breathtaking. A golden face with gentle, expressive eyes, forearms that resemble long, white evening gloves, a crisp white beard, and brilliant ruby-red legs that give the species its name. Incredibly, Sun Tra is home to what is believed to be the largest single population of this critically endangered species on Earth. A census estimated the population at over 1,300 individuals, a number that offers a rare beacon of hope for a species on the brink. Their survival in such close proximity to a major urban center is both a miracle and a monumental challenge. They are almost entirely tree-dwelling, feeding on a diet of young leaves, flowers, and fruit, and almost never drink, getting all the water they need from their food. The peninsula is a protected area, but the threats are relentless. The immense pressure from tourism development, with plans for dozens of new hotels and resorts, shrinks their habitat and fragments the forest. Roads bring traffic and noise that disturbs their habits, leading to fatal collisions, while the insidious threat of illegal poaching continues. Yet, this unique collision also presents an extraordinary opportunity. The Doucs have become a cherished symbol of Da Nang, drawing responsible eco-tourists and photographers from around the globe. This creates a powerful economic incentive for their protection, a living demonstration that conservation can yield tangible, sustainable benefits for local communities. The future of the Queen of Primates hangs in a delicate balance, dependent on our ability to find a sustainable peace between city and jungle, ensuring this priceless jewel of biodiversity can continue to shine. From the collision of city and jungle at sea level, our journey now takes us to the opposite extreme, up into the clouds, to the very roof of Indochina. Our expedition now leads us north and inexorably upward. We arrive at the Hoang Lien Son mountain range, the roof of Indochina, where Vietnam's highest peak, Fansipan, scrapes the heavens at over 3,143 meters. Within Hoang Lien National Park, a UNESCO ASEAN Heritage Park, the humid tropical heat of the lowlands surrenders to a cool, misty, and often unforgiving alpine environment where temperatures can drop dramatically. Survival here demands a special kind of fortitude, an adaptation to life lived in the clouds. This is the home of one of Vietnam's most ethereal and secretive creatures, the musk deer. Unlike other deer, it is a small, solitary wanderer of the cloud-wrapped highlands, often active at twilight. Its survival strategy is one of silent endurance, its cryptic, earth-toned coat a perfect camouflage in the persistent mist and dense undergrowth. Instead of antlers, the males possess long upper canines, like tusks, used for sparring. They also possess a musk gland that produces a substance which, for centuries, was valued more highly than gold. This tragic prize has driven the species to the very edge of extinction through relentless poaching. This elusive creature perfectly embodies the spirit of these high mountains, secretive, resilient, and exquisitely attuned to a life of solitude. The Hoang Lien Son Range is a land of extreme endemism, meaning it hosts species found nowhere else on Earth. The unique, cool climate and profound isolation of its peaks and valleys have created a cradle for life that has evolved in seclusion for millennia. Rare ancient trees like the Fujian cypress and newly discovered species like the Mount Fansipan horned frog are just two examples of life forms that have evolved in this secluded world, In total, the park is home to nearly 2,850 plant species and 555 species of terrestrial vertebrates. But this intense specialization is a double-edged sword. It makes these species desperately vulnerable to any change in their environment, especially the looming threat of a warming climate, which could push their delicate habitats further up the mountain until there is nowhere left to go. Life here is a vertical ballet. As the seasons shift, animals migrate up and down the mountain slopes, following the bloom of food sources or escaping the harshest weather. Scientists are certain these mountains, still far from fully explored, harbor countless more secrets, new species of plants, insects, and animals still completely unknown to science. The roof of Indochina is a final frontier for wildlife in Vietnam and a sacred, irreplaceable bastion for some of the world's most threatened and unique species. But to understand the true stakes in this fight for survival, we must travel south, to a place that is at once a vibrant sanctuary and a solemn memorial. Our final journey brings us south to the humid lowland forests of Cat Tien National Park. Designated as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, this park is the vibrant, pulsating heart of Vietnam's southern wilderness. The air here vibrates with the calls of over 350 species of birds. The canopy rings with the songs of gibbons, and remnant populations of elephants and gaur still tread softly on the forest floor. To walk through Cat Tien feels like stepping through a portal into a primordial world, a glimpse of the staggering richness that once blanketed this entire region. It is a sanctuary for more than 1,600 plant species and hundreds of animal species, including the once thought extinct Siamese crocodile. But this park is also a place of ghosts. It is haunted by the chilling, undeniable echoes of extinction. It was here, in April of 2010, that the very last Javan rhinoceros in Vietnam was found shot by poachers, its horn brutally sawn off. Genetic analysis of 22 dung samples, collected in the preceding months, confirmed the grim truth. All samples belonged to this single, lone female. With her death, an entire subspecies, Rhinoceros sundicus anamyticus, was erased from the country and the world forever. It is a stark, painful lesson in the relentless pressures facing Vietnam's wildlife: illegal logging that fragments habitats, the silent plague of poaching snares that kill indiscriminately, and the unending demand for land and wildlife products. Yet, even in the face of such profound loss, nature here is demonstrating its powerful resilience. The forests are fighting to reclaim land that was devastated by herbicides like Agent Orange and the millions of bomb craters left by the war. But this recovery is agonizingly slow and fragile. The park is a frontline in the modern battle for survival. A primate rescue center on Dao Tien Island works tirelessly to rehabilitate gibbons and langurs seized from the cruel, illegal wildlife trade, nursing them back to health in the hope of one day returning them to the wild. Rangers patrol the deep forest day and night, dismantling the very snares that sealed the rhino's fate. Cat Tien is at once a battlefield, a sanctuary, and a living laboratory. It represents both the immense biodiversity Vietnam stands to lose and the incredible hope that can spring from tireless, dedicated conservation. From the surface, we've explored the highest peaks and densest jungles, but to find some of Vietnam's newest and most bizarre discoveries, we must now journey deep underground into a world of perpetual darkness. Beneath the towering mountains and lush forests lies another Vietnam, a secret world carved from ancient limestone, home to some of the planet's largest and most spectacular caves. Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site nestled in the Truong Son Range, is a kingdom of caves, a living museum of evolution hidden from the sun. Here, underground rivers have sculpted vast chambers, and life has adapted in the most extraordinary ways. Inside Son Doong, the world's largest cave, an entire jungle thrives under two massive collapsed roof sections, or dough lines, with trees reaching for the distant light. In the absolute darkness beyond the reach of the sun, the rules of survival are rewritten. Over millennia, creatures here have evolved into unique forms. Scientists have discovered 7 new species within Son Doong alone, including fish, spiders, scorpions, and millipedes. Many are phantoms, translucent and completely blind, having lost their eyes in a world without light. Instead, they navigate their world through heightened senses of touch and chemistry, conserving precious energy in this low-nutrient environment. These are not just isolated oddities. They are part of a complex, self-sustaining ecosystem fueled by organic matter washed in from the world above and bat guano from the countless bats that roost on the high ceilings. This subterranean world is one of extreme fragility. The delicate balance of life, perfected over millions of years in a stable, dark environment, can be shattered by the slightest change in temperature, light, or human presence. Each new expedition into these caves reveals more species previously unknown to science, a testament to a biological treasure trove that is still being discovered. Phong Nha Ke Bang is a frontier where every discovery underscores how much there is still to learn about the planet and how much there is to lose. From a world without light, we now emerge into a realm where survival is an illusion. But what if the most effective way to hide isn't to retreat into a cave, but to disappear in plain sight? If you've been amazed by these subterranean discoveries, hit that like button to show your support for exploration. Next up, we meet the masters of deception. In Vietnam's forests, the line between predator and prey is often blurred by illusion. This is the domain of reptiles and amphibians, masters of camouflage and cunning. Here, survival is an art form, and the artist's greatest tool is deception. The Vietnamese Mossy Frog is a living masterpiece of this craft. Its skin, a complex mosaic of green and brown bumps and textures, perfectly mimics a clump of moss, making it virtually invisible on wet rocks and tree bark. Dwelling in the cool, flooded caves and mountain streams of northern Vietnam, it spends its days motionless, often half-submerged. If threatened, it simply freezes, curling into a ball and playing dead, relying entirely on its disguise to escape detection. But not all deception is passive. Some creatures use their adaptations for breathtaking feats of escape. The paradise tree snake, a slender serpent of the canopy, has achieved the impossible. It glides. Launching itself from a high branch, it splays its ribs and flattens its body, creating a concave U-shaped surface that acts like a wing. By undulating its body in a distinct S shape, it can steer through the air, covering distances of up to 100 meters in a single controlled descent from tree to tree. This isn't flight, it's a masterful use of physics to turn a fall into an escape, an efficient way to travel the forest and evade danger. From the Vietnamese Mossy Frog that becomes the stone it sits on, to the flying snake that sails through the air, these creatures demonstrate that in a world of constant threat, the most effective strategy for survival is not always strength, but the ability to manipulate perception itself. They are a testament to evolution's boundless creativity, turning their very bodies into tools of illusion and escape. The art of deception is a powerful tool in the jungle, but Vietnam's secrets aren't confined to its forests. An entirely different drama is unfolding just beneath the waves. To make sure you don't miss where we go next on this expedition, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's dive in. Vietnam's embrace of the sea creates another vast and vital arena for survival. Its warm coastal waters are part of the Coral Triangle, a global center of marine biodiversity. But it is in protected sanctuaries like Con Dao National Park where the epic story of marine life truly unfolds. This archipelago is the most important sea turtle nesting site in the country. Between May and October, under the cover of darkness, hundreds of green and hawksbill sea turtles make their way onto the beaches to lay their eggs, a sacred ancient ritual. The journey for their young is perilous. That is why rangers in Con Dao work tirelessly to protect them. Nests are carefully relocated to protected hatcheries to shield them from threats. Thanks to these efforts, over 1.5 million baby turtles have been successfully released back into the sea since the mid-1990s. Each tiny hatchling scrambling towards the surf is a victory for conservation, a symbol of hope against overwhelming odds. Yet these waters face mounting challenges. Con Dao is also one of the last known habitats in Vietnam for the gentle, elusive dugong, or sea cow. This vulnerable marine mammal, entirely dependent on seagrass beds for food, is facing a crisis. The seagrass meadows have been severely degraded by pollution and destructive fishing practices, and the dugong population has shrunk to a critically small number, with only an estimated 12 individuals remaining in 2023. The fate of the dugong hangs precariously in the balance, a stark reminder that the health of these magnificent creatures is tied directly to the health of their underwater world. The struggle of giants like the sea turtle and dugong is a powerful story, but the battle for survival is also waged on a scale so small it's almost invisible, by an unseen army with tactics that are stranger than fiction. Which marine animal's story has moved you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Up next, we enter the world of miniature masters. Beyond the great hunters and the soaring primates, a secret war is waged on a miniature scale. This is the world of insects, an unseen army whose numbers are legion and whose strategies for survival are among the most ingenious in the natural world. Here, the ultimate weapon is mimicry, the art of being something you are not. In the jungles of Vietnam, this deception has been perfected. The leaf insect has evolved to be a near-perfect replica of a leaf, complete with veins, bite marks, and the coloration of decay. It moves by rocking back and forth, mimicking a real leaf rustling in the wind, a performance so convincing that predators look right past it. Other insects take this a step further. The Vietnamese giant stick insect, one of the longest insects in the world, can reach over 30 centimeters in body length. Discovered by science only in 2014, it spends its life high in the canopy, perfectly camouflaged as a twig. Its slow, swaying movements make it indistinguishable from the surrounding branches, a ghost in the trees. This mastery of deception is not just about hiding. Recent discoveries have found spiders in Vietnam that mimic fungi, potentially luring in insects that feed on it. It's a complex world of Batesian and Mullerian mimicry, where harmless species imitate toxic ones, and multiple harmful species evolve to look alike, creating a shared language of danger that predators learn to respect. This silent, intricate dance of deception is fundamental to the health of the forest. These small masters of illusion are pollinators, decomposers, and a vital food source. They are the bedrock of the ecosystem, proving that in the fight for life, sometimes the most powerful strategy is to hide in plain sight. For these tiny masters, survival is a matter of instinct. But there is another form of ancient knowledge at play in these forests, a human wisdom that has shaped the relationship between people and wildlife for centuries. If you're learning something new, share this video with someone who would also find it fascinating. Now, we explore the most complex relationship of all, the human connection. For centuries, the survival of Vietnam's wildlife has been intertwined with its human inhabitants, particularly the dozens of ethnic minority groups who live in and around the forests. In the Central Highlands, communities like the Ede and Manong have coexisted with elephants for generations, viewing them not as animals, but as sacred spiritual beings woven into their culture. This traditional ecological knowledge, a deep understanding of nature passed down through stories, rituals, and daily practices, has informed sustainable ways of life for millennia. These communities possess an intimate knowledge of forest resources, from medicinal plants to edible vegetables, that is crucial for their own food security and livelihood. Many ethnic groups have long held traditions of spiritual forests or ghost forests, sacred groves protected by customary law where cutting trees or hunting is forbidden. These areas, guarded by belief rather than fences, often represent the last pockets of pristine, old-growth forest in a given region, acting as vital sanctuaries for biodiversity. This ancient wisdom recognizes the interconnectedness of all life and fosters a balance between human need and ecological health. Today, this alliance is more important than ever. Conservation organizations are increasingly partnering with local communities, recognizing that their deep knowledge and presence in the forest are invaluable assets. Former hunters are being retrained as rangers and protectors, their unparalleled tracking skills now used to guard wildlife. By involving ethnic minorities in forest management, ecotourism, and conservation planning, a new model is emerging, one that respects traditional knowledge and empowers local people to become the primary guardians of their natural heritage. This fusion of ancient wisdom and modern science represents a powerful hope for the future. The stories from Cat Tien, Sun Tra, and Yok Don are not just tales of animals in a distant land. They are a powerful universal call to action. If they have moved you, please consider supporting the organizations on the front lines, fighting every day to protect these sacred places. By subscribing to our channel, you help us continue to bring these vital stories into the light. Your engagement raises crucial awareness and makes you part of a global community dedicated to protecting our planet's most precious and vulnerable ecosystems. From the singing canopy to the silent shadowed understory, we have witnessed a world of breathtaking beauty and solemn struggle. We have seen how gibbons consecrate their family bonds in song, how hornbills make the ultimate parental sacrifice, and how the red-shanked Douc Langur, a queen among primates, survives on the very edge of a modern city. Vietnam is a land of profound, jarring contrasts. It still bears the deep scars of a tumultuous past, both in its history and on its landscapes, yet it is defined by a powerful, enduring rhythm of rebirth. While the threats of poaching, habitat loss, and development remain immense, a story of hope is slowly, determinedly taking root. Through the heroic efforts of local and international conservationists and an expanding network of protected areas, Vietnam is fighting to save its natural heritage. Reforestation efforts have seen the nation's forest cover begin to rise again, maintaining a stable coverage rate of over 42%. An ambitious national program worked to plant over 1.4 billion trees between 2021 and 2025, a green tide swelling to reclaim what was lost. The secrets of survival here are not just about camouflage or claws, about beaks or brachiation. They are about resilience in the face of catastrophic loss, connection in a fractured world, and adaptation to relentless, unforgiving change. the fate of the elephant, the langur, and the hornbill is inextricably woven into the fate of the forests they call home. And ultimately, their future and the future of this incredible biodiversity rests in our hands. The wildlife of Vietnam is a treasure of global significance, a living testament to the sheer tenacity of life. As we leave this enchanting wounded land, we are left with a final, powerful truth. In the wild heart of Vietnam, the greatest secret to survival is the enduring, defiant hope for a better tomorrow. To join the effort and stay informed, subscribe to our channel and become part of the solution.